Welcome to Community Voices with your host, Tarence Lauchie. This radio roundtable features community, business, and religious leaders that discuss current events and topics that impact our urban community. If you would like to be a guest or if you have a suggested topic, contact the station today at 616-259-7342. Now, into the program.
Greetings, this is Tarence Lauchie, and you're listening to another edition of Community Voices on 91.9 FM, The People's Choice. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching online with us or if you're listening in your car, at work, or wherever you are, Community Voices was designed to offer the information, the latest and the greatest news about what's happening in and around the greater Grand Rapids area with entrepreneurs, with business owners, with our churches, our health services, our employers, just an interface for you to get information about what's going on in and around this area for our listening audience. So today in the studio, I've got two guests that are going to be talking a little bit about business, talking about Black business in particular. We have the founder and CEO of GRABB, which is the Grand Rapids Area Black Business Association or organization. We'll talk a little bit more, but he's no stranger to us. He's been here a couple times before. Brother Jamiel Robinson, welcome.
Thanks for having me on. It's good to be back.
I'm glad you are back, and you've got with you today Miss Jennifer Burns, the administrative coordinator of GRABB.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. I want to talk to you all about something that's coming up, and we're going to get that on the platform right away. The annual GRABB Awards.
Yeah,
it's coming up.
Yeah, we have our GRABB Gala and Awards. You know, we're celebrating 10 years of GRABB. GRABB has been around, for the past 10 years, doing just great work in our community, helping Black businesses locally, but also kind of across the state as well. So.
Well, let me pause to congratulate you on 10 years. I know that in my business background, businesses that exceed the 3-year mark usually succeed. Mm-hmm. Business organizations that support businesses that exceed a 10-year mark is obviously at a point of success. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the gala and about the event, the location, and all of that, and then we can get even deeper into what GRABB offers.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, so this is our 10 years, so we decided to go all out. So we're having our gala at Frederick Meyer Garden.
Nice.
November 17th.
It's coming up.
It is, yeah, like 10 days or so away.
Soon.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's coming up soon. And so we're really excited about that. Being at Frederick Meyer Garden really just, is a pinnacle. We're excited to celebrate some of the businesses that are finalists and those who are going to be recipients of the awards this year. Our Marcus Garvey Legacy Award recipient is, Pastor Nathaniel Moody. He's
Yes.
also commissioner of Third Ward. So we're really excited about honoring Pastor Moody just for his business acumen and, running several businesses throughout the community for such a long time and just, being a standard bearer for, Black businesses and excellence and everything else. And so we're really excited about that. This
He's
year,
definitely worthy of that award. He's a great guy. I've had him on the show and known him for years and years, so I think some good choices.
Definitely. And so this year we're switching it up a little. We're going to have live entertainment. So we have a band, Bedrock. We also have Avalon Cuts, who's going to be singing.
Yes.
Yeah. So jazzing it up a little bit. So it's a 10 year. So instead of we're also still going to have a DJ. So DJ Rush Guillotine, he's going to be DJing kind of the pre-reception that starts at 6:30. It is. It's a gala. So definitely come dressed to impress. From that standpoint, but come with a style, suited, booted, however you want to call it.
And there's tickets, so talk about the tickets.
Yeah, the tickets. So you can go to our website, which is grablocal.com, and purchase tickets. Tickets are $100 and includes dinner, includes the pre-reception, everything else like that.
And the award ceremony.
And the award ceremony.
That's
come, as we say, come celebrate with us. So that's the biggest thing. Come celebrate with us. Come celebrate and affirm, different folks from our community, because that's important for us to affirm and support and celebrate each other.
I think it's a great time of year, too, because typically around the February months or maybe even in the early October months, you got a lot of different activities. Mm-hmm. November 17th, Frederick Meyer Garden, it is the annual gala. This one is the 10th year celebration.
Correct.
So, wow, that's a big deal. And the tickets are only $100.
Tickets are $100.
They can go to grablocal.com in order to
find those,
get those tickets.
Great. Yeah, and we have, Candy Yam they're the preferred caterer.
The catering?
Yeah, so
Awesome.
they're catering.
So we know the food's going to be good.
The food's going to be excellent. So we're trying to do as much supporting of Black businesses. So
absolutely,
that's what we do. That's what we're about. So
I commend you. I commend you on that, Jennifer. We got to get you in this conversation as the administrator at GRABB. Tell us a little bit about what you all do. And I know that the physical location is in the works, and there's some things that's happening behind the scenes. And you were probably the best person to talk about the behind the scenes stuff. Tell us a little bit about what happens with GRABB.
Okay, yeah, typically that's where I live, behind the scenes.
We got you on the front line today.
Had to bring her out.
Yes.
So with GRABB, we have different opportunities to connect with Black businesses. So we have an actual initiative that is our well-being visits, where we stop into local businesses and set up like a date and a time for them to meet with us. Or even if it's right then and there, we do an assessment with them to help them figure out what resources they need to either begin, start, or if they're stuck, how to get to the next level. Or we offer our 1v1s, which are one-on-one visits that we also schedule with Black businesses to help them where they are. Because a lot of times you don't know. Sometimes you might be the first generation. You don't know what you don't know about your business. Yeah, exactly. And you might be the first generation of, an entrepreneur. And a lot of times finding resources is hard. Basically because you're in your business working day to day. So anything outside of that is extra research and things like that. So we try to take that off of your shoulders, and help and connect you in a, fashion where we're able to connect you with our resource partners.
Sure. I think that's kind of an evolution from the onset of GRABB. You've always been a resource to the community, especially Black businesses. But that one-on-one, I think that's going to be an added plus. When you all find out, let's say my business needs some help in my bookkeeping, you make a referral, another Black business. How does that work?
Yeah, so typically what we do is with our current partners, so we have different resources. We might have different lawyers or different entities that offer these services. Or for instance, if you need help with like a business plan, we will refer you to like the SBDC who does this for free. So we just try to find ways to either save you money or, if you're in that next level where you have a little money to spend, we try to connect you to people that we actually have used ourselves or that we have exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. I think with GRABB being around, we should probably see some increase in the success of Black businesses.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So Dr. Andre Perry, he used to be the Dean of Urban Education at Davenport, but since he's become a fellow at Brookings Institute, and so he came back earlier this year and spoke at the Urban League's MLK Day breakfast. And one of the things that he said about his data is he said, just 10 years ago, Kent County, because he looked at it Kent County-wide, it wasn't a lot of Black businesses, so you really didn't have a lot of material. He said, looking at the data today, this was back in January, he said that Kent County has, a higher ratio of Black businesses than other places in the country.
Wow.
So he said now that we have substance and we have material, as far as like a number of Black businesses, now we should focus on helping these businesses scale.
Exactly.
Because we have a scaling problem in our community as far as with our businesses. A lot of our businesses don't reach 250,000 plus in revenue.
Sure. So in other words, we can start up, but staying up is the challenge.
Yeah, and so that's why at GRABB, our mission is to help Black businesses launch, survive, sustain, and scale. So it's the survival.
Survive, sustain, and scale.
Yeah. So the survival part is the most, because you can start a business while we're talking right now. 5 or 6 businesses could have started.
Sure.
But it really comes down to the survivability of the businesses and then the sustainability. So how do we help them get to a point of sustaining? And then once they sustain, then they can really focus on scaling, which is a growth.
Sure. So this information from the Brookings Institute can be used as preliminary data, and over time you can see where the types of businesses are, or maybe even the risk factors.
Yeah. And so since we've been around for that long, so it was kind of like one of those things, because we put a very intentional focus on Black businesses here in Grand Rapids and King County at a time where a lot of focus wasn't on that. And so when we first started, when we were talking about the well-being visits, that's kind of how I started GRABB. So I was going door to door, visiting every single Black business that I was aware of, helping them to get listed in our free directory. We still have a free directory to this day. We do have tiers you could pay for, but we have a free directory just so people know that Black businesses exist in our community. Because back then, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you're like, well, where are all the Black businesses at? No one asked, today where all the Black businesses are at. And so we've been able to bring a different level of awareness and visibility to the Black business ecosystem and the Black business community here that wasn't around prior to GRABB.
Yeah. Just for those who might be tuning in and you're listening, you're wondering, man, this is a good conversation. Who we're talking to. Jamiel Robinson is the founder and the CEO of GRABB, and that is the Grand Rapids Area Black Businesses. And then we also have Jennifer Burns, who's the administrative coordinator, makes things happen behind the scenes and moving forward. I like the idea and the concept of the one-on-one visits and then the proper referrals. For Black businesses to succeed, there's going to have to be access to the resources, but some people don't know what's available. So you serve as kind of a clearinghouse or a bridge gap filler. Explain how you would describe GRABB's role in making Black businesses succeed.
Yeah, and I've thought about that and grappled with that because people are like, well, what does GRABB do? What does GRABB do? And, we just came up with this acronym over the course of the past year, and it's like we call it GRABB CAN. And CAN is an acronym, and it's on our website for Connect, Assess. So we help business with assessments, advocate. So we're advocating at a systems level, at the city, at different government, municipalities, institutions. Then it's navigate. So it's navigating. So a lot of businesses don't know where to go, who to go to, so on and so forth. And then it's networking. Okay. So I believe and we believe that, what businesses need is access to capital, access to markets, and access to networks. Those are the three things. Those are kind of the three-legged stool when we talk about what Black businesses need to move from launch to scale. Yeah. So you definitely need access to the capital. You need access to the market because that's where your product, if you have a product-based business or even services, that's where your customers are. So you need to be able to access to the market. And then it's networking because we know business and just pretty much anything in life is relational. So you have to have relationships.
And
so relationships matter.
Important.
So like people been saying, like, would you take $500,000 or the meeting with Jay-Z? And then, to me, it depends. Yeah. If you already have the money, but you need the relationship, you take the meeting. If you don't have the money, you take the money and you use that to then build the relationship.
Absolutely. So build the credibility that he would even want to meet with you.
Exactly.
I think $500,000 could get you started.
Yeah, indeed.
Great. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about some of the services that you've seen applied to some businesses and how they've succeeded. Just kind of some win stories,
So I would say that with different businesses that we've met with, I would say a success story would be where someone didn't know as far as like bookkeeping wise, and what they actually needed to, start and what they actually needed to have in place as far as it's more than just your EIN number and it's more than just registering the LLC. So what we did is we connected them directly to a partner that we have that's a lawyer. And then they were able to get the breakdown. So it was a food service business. Okay. So outside of it just being legal, where you don't want to be sued for,
exactly. Got to have your food service license.
Exactly. Right? We are
Health
also
department.
And we are also able to connect them with one of our other partners through MSU, their product, service, and goods. So they were able to get, training. You pay a membership, and then it's like a lifelong training over your business to help you actually scale.
Sure. I think that's going to be the key to the success of the Black businesses in the community is having the access to resources. It's part of the Black experience to be entrepreneurial. I mean, we've had to grow our own, we had to sow our own, we had to develop our own. But now there's a mainstreaming taking place. And I keep hearing this word scale, scale, scale. What does that mean to somebody who's listening? They just started, they're excited about having a pop-up opportunity, and they keep popping up at the pop-ups, and all the pop-ups are just that pop-ups. But at some point, you go beyond pop-up. Talk about scaling.
Yeah, so, it really looks like, I use your example from a pop-up. So let's say, I have a business and I sell ice cream. Okay. And so I go to these different pop-ups and I'm finally there, but all I do is have ice cream that I churned and use ice cream. You
just got a retail exchange.
And I just have that, and it's under, let's say, Michigan cottage law, which means I can make food at home and I can sell it. Well, certain things you can make at home. But it's going from doing that at a pop-up shop to then maybe having a place at a farmer's market.
Sure.
And then
a stand.
So you have a stand. And then it's then graduating and working out of a commercial kitchen. So now you'll be able to sell your products, your ice cream products, to a retailer, because you only can do that if you have your business in a certified commercial kitchen. So you make your products, now you're making your ice cream, now you can put it in the retail stores, whether it's any local retail store, Meijer.
I was going to mention Meijer. We'll talk a little bit about those links that you guys have been helpful with.
Yeah, so Meijer, Family Fare, wherever, the Spartan Nash stores, whatever the case. And then you go from there and just like locally, and now you start producing and having your businesses shipped statewide, and then regionally as far as the Great Lakes region, and then nationally. So that's scaling.
And who knows, maybe even international.
Exactly. So that's scaling. So, one of the things I said, so if you have a cookie-based business, if you're just at a farmer's market, that's different, So it's either but how do you become Nabisco? So, all right, it's cool that you're making your cookies at home, but how do you become Nabisco?
Yeah.
How do you become Hudsonville ice cream?
Sure. I think one of our challenges is that we see the idea of being an entrepreneur and a business owner, and then we go immediately into trying to do marketing and try to do exposure, but our networks are limited.
Networks are limited. Foundation is limited.
Sure.
Don't know, your first time, or you've never really seen one, so you're structuring.
Plus, if we use everybody in our contact list, that's everybody in our contact list. But what about the fact that there are millions of people who may not have ever even seen or heard of your product that's out there somewhere?
And I tell people all the time, like it's great if you get family and friends to support you, but they are not your customers long term. I say family and friend support when you first are starting out. It's more like when you graduate from high school and you have an open house.
Right.
And people come over, here's $100. Here's $100 in your open house gift, greeting card. So you get money out of the envelopes and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what friends and family provide early on. But if that's all you rely on, you're not going to be able to get to those next levels. So you have to start looking at who is your actual demographic, who's your customer.
Who are the subscribers?
Exactly. Who's going to actually subscribe and help you with that business, because it's not going to be your family member. They just like, hey, I came one time, and that's pretty much it.
They bought your product.
Hey,
and that was
I supported you.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. Quit asking me every day. Am I buying more?
So that's a segue where the subscribership. We're talking about now expanding to go regionally and then nationally and possibly globally. How does GRABB help that small entrepreneur, that black business owner who says, my business is a service business as opposed to a retail product, or maybe a business that is a niche market. How do you all help in getting people from the pop-up status, which is noble and a great beginning, but you got to go from pop-up to brick and mortar somewhere? Not even if it's not your own, you need to be in somebody's brick and mortar.
Yeah, we've built relationships, statewide that can assist. So from different governmental entities like MEDC, SBDC, which is national, the SBA, all these acronyms that.
Sure, I know some of them. Small Business Administration, Small Business Development Administration, and then MEDC is Michigan Economic Development
Corp.
Yep.
Yeah. So all these different acronyms, they're here to help businesses, and so they have a lot of different incubators out here.
Sure.
And so we built a lot of those relationships. So a lot of time businesses who, like as Jennifer was saying, are like super busy working on their day to day that either they can't, make it to this networking event or make it to this place. We have those relationships and we can make those very direct referrals. And when we make those referrals, it's only with people who have demonstrated the ability and, the will to actually support black businesses being successful.
Yeah.
So we're not just randomly picking different entrepreneurial support organizations' name out of a hat and and being like, oh, go here or go there.
Yeah.
Because that's what entrepreneurs are already doing themselves.
Sure, just kind of finding their own way.
They're just finding their way. And
so would you say GRABB is streamlining for?
Yeah, we're definitely for some entrepreneurs, we're definitely the escalator as opposed to the stairs. And in some cases, we're the elevator.
That makes sense. How about rocket, jet fuel, man? Exactly. That's what we're looking for. Jennifer, what role do you play in that? Do you get a chance to talk to folks both that's the entrepreneur as well as those resources, or just he's the one who gets out and goes and talks to the statewide and national organizations?
No, that's all pushed on me.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So it could be something with when we have like our grab and goes where we'll have different entities come in to talk about different things. Like I said, if we have like a lawyer who comes in to talk about LLCs and the proper paperwork and the proper documents that you need to have your business legitimized. So when we have those, then I'm able to speak to those different people, and then I'm learning something. We've even had them where we have people come from MSU Product Center, and they're talking about different cottage laws and whether just because you put that one ingredient in there, that makes it a different type of thing. So, like, you get the education.
Learn something new every day, right?
Yeah. So I get the education from attending them and also building that relationship and getting to know different names and faces. And, you know, like you said, we're able to trust the actual people that we're doing business with, that we actually refer you as an entrepreneur to too.
So you know the referrals you're making.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I'm kind of anticipating somebody listening right now or viewing right now says, well, I need to talk to her. Or I need to talk to him. Best way for them to contact you. And then we can get back into the awards ceremony that's coming up. But best way for contact, would it just be go to grablocal.com, or is there a phone number?
Or the email is jen@grablocal.com.
Jen at grablocal.com.
Yep, JEN, like Jennifer.
Yeah, and on our website we have a contact form, so people can go to our website and type that in. We get a lot of folks that go to our website, and we have a directory.
I was going to say the self-sign-in directory is probably something.
We have a directory, and people use that directory. Organizations, institutions, a lot of people will go to the directory, and then the great thing about it is if they don't find a business type that they're looking for, then they'll just reach out directly to us and say, hey, Jamiel, I'm looking for a painter, or I'm looking for this, or I'm looking for that. Do you have any direct referrals? And so one of the things that we keep telling businesses and entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, is get your business on the directory. We have a free option, and we also have a paid option. So we have three different levels. So we have what we call verified Black. So that's the first tier, which is our free. And the reason,
like a DNA test? No,
it's more so, because like it's certain businesses, because you'll see a lot of us working in them, and you'll see us as a manager. You just assume it's Black owned, and it's not. Right. But it's employing our people, so that's important. Yeah, so we have the verified. So they're verified Black business. So yes, this was really a Black business, because it was a couple years ago. It was the debate on which chicken spots in the city were Black owned and not Black owned. From that standpoint. And so we have verified. And then for $75, so with the verified, you get your name, you get to put your logo up on our website, and that's people knowing that you are verified as a Black business. Then we have certified. And certified, for $75 for the year, you get a full profile, you get to upload pictures, videos, full descriptions, address, all your social media, so on and so forth. So for businesses that may not have a website, they can build a profile on our website, because it's extremely used, and our directory is downloadable. Sure. So you can click download and you'll get a free list. And we put that function on there because people kept saying, "Hey, Jamiel, are you going to print this out?" No, we're not. Printing is expensive, so you're gonna just download it as a PDF. And then we have Ultra Black. Okay. So Ultra Black is for those serial entrepreneurs that may have three different businesses. So let's say if you have a laundromat, and you have a cleaning service, and you have an ice cream business. I like ice cream, so I keep mentioning it.
I'm hungry for some ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. So you can list those three businesses, and instead of having to pay for separate businesses, because some people reach out and say, well, I got two businesses, or I got three. And so we say, all right, you can have those, and it's called Ultra Black. I like that. And so Ultra Black is just because, Nas came out with a song a few years ago called Ultra Black. And so it's just one of those things, and it's a color now and everything else. So you have the whole Pantone. A lot of people know that Nas is a multi-entrepreneur as well, with Sweet Chicks and the music
he's
almost
industry.
A billionaire. So
Billionaire.
That's crazy. Yeah. And so we have those three levels, and you get all those things, and you can list multiple locations, so on and so forth. Yeah. So those are the three levels we have, and so it's free, $75, and for Ultra Black it's $150, but you get to list three businesses.
Sure. That's not absorbent at all. I think that's an investment.
It is.
And for a Black business to have a network of belonging and being able to be identified. Somebody listening that's not Black may be saying, well, why are we targeting just Black businesses? Why is it so important that Black businesses, can't they just go to the Chamber of Commerce, or can't they just be a part of the other networks? So tell that story, because I remember our first interview, you were sharing with me that you came from a family of entrepreneurs, and there were some businesses that succeeded and some that you guys lost. And that might be part of the story that other people have.
Yeah, and the reason why we focus on Black businesses is, one, it kind of, Forbes came out with an article in 2015 saying Grand Rapids is the second worst place economically for Black folks. And that was in the they used 3 indicators. The indicator was home ownership, median income, and self-employment.
Wow.
Self-employment is entrepreneurship. It's owning your own business. It's mom and pop, or in today's language, they call it lifestyle business. And so with that being an indicator that has us at the bottom, it shows that you need to have an intentional effort. You need specialists. So if it's something that's, wrong with you and you go to a doctor and you're like, oh, something's wrong with my eye, they send you to an optometrist because they're specialists in that, and they know the inner workings. And because us as entrepreneurs, and me growing up as an entrepreneur, we have a keen focus on what's necessarily been taking place historically, as far as us not being able to access capital. It's a lot of evidence, it's a lot of reports, it's a lot of studies that talks about the impact of redlining. Like Dr. Andre Perry, who I mentioned earlier, he has a book called Know Your Price, and it talks about how black real estate has been devalued because of redlining and other discriminatory practices, that black families who own houses have lost out on $257 million of home value. Wow. Or is it, I think it's $257 million. Right. So $250 million of wealth has been, taken away from black families just because they live in a predominantly black neighborhood.
Which means that it's been devalued, or an invisible red line has occurred.
Exactly.
And then there's gentrification after that.
And a lot of people who start businesses, they usually use their house as collateral.
As equity and collateral.
So if my house in, let's say, 49507, well, we used to be when I was growing up, a house in 49507, similar stock as a house in Forest Hills, was only valued at $60,000.
Wow.
And a house in Forest Hills of similar stock, size, so on and so forth, is valued at $250,000. Oh. So when you go to a bank only allows you to use 80% to home value. So if my home value is only $60,000, I only can use 80% of that. Yeah. If I'm in Forest Hills and my house is worth $250,000,
right. 80% of that.
80% of that. So how can you start up a business and not be undercapitalized using the equity in your home? But our houses have been devalued, and so that's one way. And so we're just specialists when it comes to black businesses, because we understand black businesses. We understand the history of how racism, discrimination has impacted from that standpoint. But in addition, we have a lot of relationships that can help businesses who are sometimes first generation. So the same way it's a lot of resources for first time college students, first generation college students. It was a whole big effort and push. Let's get them into college and things like that. We're putting that same effort into first time entrepreneurs who are looking to be able to grow, intergenerational wealth.
Sure. Well, most people of the African American culture they don't have very far to go to reach back and see where entrepreneurship has been a part of their legacy and a part of their history, whether it's legal or illegal,
correct,
or above board, as they would say, or backdoor. But it has been a part of our acculturation to America is to grow your own, sow your own.
Like the whole U.S. lottery system was created
based on the number system.
On the number system that black folks ran in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
So that's so we've been able to create institutions and systems,
sure,
but we haven't owned those.
Well, and then there's also the element of ethics and legal versus illegal, or
correct,
legitimate versus illegitimate. And I like what you all are doing through GRABB to give people this opportunity to come forward with ideas, creativity, and even compete for awards. Talk about it. Let's close our conversation talking about the GRABB Awards, the gala that's taking place on the 17th.
The 17th. Yeah. I'm going to let Jennifer go ahead and close this out.
Jennifer, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So it is to be a time.
Yes.
So celebrating 10 years of GRABB, and from there we're going to celebrate different entrepreneurs throughout the city to give them actual light to show the different work that they're doing, because they're not always recognized. And then from there we'll begin with like a cocktail hour at 6:30, like Jamiel said, with DJ Rush, Guillotine, and then we'll go into our performances that we'll have with our live band, and then we'll have Avalon speaking and Bedrock is the band. And then from there, Jamiel gives some words, and then we have, our co-host. So
we'll hear from the founder.
Yes, absolutely. Right. And then outside of that, the setting, so the ambiance of the Frederick Meyer Gardens, will be beautiful. So it's definitely a time to celebrate. We want everybody to come out and celebrate with us. And celebrate the different entrepreneurs.
Yep. And the theme is nights like this.
Nights like this.
Nights like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be great. I can imagine that there's an entrepreneur right now just waiting to be a part of this, because that's a networking opportunity as well.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jamiel, close us out with your message of inspiration to the listening audience of entrepreneurs, or would-be, want-to-be, trying to be entrepreneurs.
This is what I've been on lately. So I see a lot of different like inspirational videos on Instagram, things like that. And what's been resonating with me a little bit more is, how like when you're looking at doing something, you kind of be like one day my name is going to be on a billboard. One day this is going to be my building. One day this is going to be my business. And I've been saying and I saw this online, but we need to flip that. So instead of one day, make today day one.
Amen.
Day one of your journey. It's you need to just start. Make it day one, and then go day two, and then day three. The power in just changing from one day, which is very aspirational and kind of like a dreamlike state, to saying today is day one.
Reality.
It's more tangible. It's energy that's behind that, and then it's just telling people to start. So I have a lot of people who come up and say, this is my idea, and they tell me about their idea for like a year, 2 years, 4 years, but they haven't started. So I just said, help and assistance and everything that you need comes once you start.
Yep.
People can't help you if they don't know what you're doing. So you have to just start doing something. So just start.
Great. Listen, you have kind of sparked an interest, I'm sure, in somebody that's listening, wanting to be a part of the celebration. 10 years, Black business here in Grand Rapids. GRABBlocal.com is where you can go to get more information. Wonderful website. I'm sure that's being supported by Black-owned business right there.
Yeah, we have somebody develop that. We try and do everything as much as we can.
I love it. That's significant. And we don't have to wait until February to do it, right? It doesn't have to be Black History Month to support that.
No,
and
365.
365. There's a need for it. I really appreciate the longevity, of your commitment. I think it was probably 4 years ago that we were actually on the air.
It was.
Talking about this and looking at what you're doing. Jennifer, you guys are doing a great work. I want to commend you all on that, and thank you so much for being here today. Again, the event is going to be taking place on November the 17th at the Frederick Meyer Gardens. You can go to the website, grabblocal.com, to get information about the ticket sales so that you can be a part of this great gala and celebration of 10 years of Black business in the greater Grand Rapids area. You've been listening to Community Voices on 91.9 FM, The People's Choice. I'm Tarence Lauchie, and we're looking forward to seeing you the next time.
You've been listening to Community Voices with your host, Tarence Lauchie. Community Voices can be heard every Friday at 12 noon. This radio roundtable features community, business, and religious leaders that discuss current events and topics that impact our urban community. If you would like to be a guest, or if you have a suggested topic, contact the station today at 616-259-7342. Until next week, let your voice be heard in the community.